All right, guys, I'm back. Let's talk about how we're going to graph this data. Okay, so if you look at your hang time round, the very first one we did, we're going to create a bar graph of the data, right? It's simple. Try to remember what a bar graph is. I have a little example here, all right? You're going to plot the number of trials going along your x-axis and the amount of seconds that it's in the air along the y-axis. I have here, it says, let the amount of seconds be along the y-axis. Create bars that represent the amount of seconds that your plane was in the air for each trial. So again, it depends on how long your plane was in the air. Let's say that the longest it was in the air was 4 seconds. So maybe I want to go by ones. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and let's say for trial 1, it was about 1 second in the air. So I'm going to draw my bar. For trial 2, maybe it was 1.25 seconds in the air. For trial 3, maybe it was barely in the air at all. Something happened for trial 4 and I went up to 4 seconds. Okay, you guys get the gist of it. And then that's going to be your bar graph, and it says take a picture and upload it onto the Google Doc you created. Now we're going to do a scatter plot. Remember, scatter plot is just a graph of the XY coordinates that display the data collected. Okay, so that's our only bar graph for hang time round. We're going to do scatter plots for velocity round and for stand the straight path round. Okay, so for velocity round, it says you have your X and your Y columns, and then you have your column titled coordinates XY. So at this point, if you haven't already, I said you didn't have to, but some of you probably did. I know how you are. If you haven't already, you can go ahead and fill in your XY coordinates. So let's say that the amount of seconds in velocity round that my airplane was in the air was 3.2 seconds, and the distance from the starting point was 5 feet. So then when I write my coordinates in here, I'll have 3.2 as my X, and my Y coordinate is 5. Okay, and that's how you're going to go ahead and do all of these. All right, it says after you do that, go ahead and complete. Write your answers as ordered pairs, and then we're going to draw an XY coordinate plane. Label the x-axis as seconds in the air and the y-axis as distance to plane. So when you think about this, seconds are always going to be positive, distance is always positive. So we don't need to draw a normal XY coordinate plane like this because we're not going to use any of these negative quadrants. We're just going to use the first quadrant. All right? So when you do your scatter plot, if you want, you can do it here. If you want, you can do it on graph paper, but basically it has to be nicer than this. This is scummy. This is just Mrs. Phillips going fast. All right, you have your Y and your X axes, and it says to label your X axis as seconds and the Y axis as distance. So this is your seconds, this is your distance, and distance is in feet or inches, whatever you guys did, probably feet. And then it says, go ahead and plot all of your points. So you're going to have to use a particular scale. If I go up to 10 seconds in the air, I mean, maybe I need to go by ones. Okay, 1, 2, 3, the whole way up to 10. Maybe I want to go by 0.5s, whatever's easiest and whatever makes the most sense. And the same with distance. Let's say the furthest it went was 5 feet, but I want to go by half feet increments, so going up. So if my first one was 3.2, what was it? Sorry. 3.2 seconds, and it was 5 feet. I would find 3.2 seconds on my x-axis, and I went up 5 feet. So it'd be somewhere around here, and I put my first point. And I'm going to have a scatter plot, which means all my points are going to be all over the graph, possibly clustered in one area, but typically over the whole graph. Right? So then that is your scatter plot, and then it says draw a line of best fit, and I have a little remember there. Line of best fit is a straight line that divides the data points straight down the middle or as close as you can get it. So if all my points are kind of clustered here like this, my line of best fit I would try to go right through the center of this data. So if I have 10 points like that, I might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then draw my line of best fit right there. It's an approximation. Okay, and again, yours should not be sloppy and gross like mine. That's just a quick example. And you're going to do the exact same thing for the next one, the stand the straight path round. Creating a scatter plot, filling in your data. Okay, your data chart is back here for that one. right here. You'll take your x values, your y values, make your coordinates, and then plot all those coordinates on a scatter plot. Again, if you want to very neatly draw your scatter plot in this packet, you can. Draw your line of best fit using a ruler. You can do that, okay? When you're done with all this, definitely take pictures and post it onto your Google Doc so I can see it. And hope this was fun. And you guys got to think a little bit about how math is used to collect and analyze details and data. All right, have a great day, guys.